Well, today is the 4th of September. This is Sunday, and
First day of the week!
Hey, boy, that's Charlie Dog.
meow kitty, meow.
Is that a new piece of film? There are no airplanes. Why? The hangar is empty.
Cali cat.
This is Calico Cat.
She's a
Do your
crazy,
big
dirty
trick.
cat.
Do your big trick, Cali Cat. This is Cat rolling in dirt. I'll play with you. I'll play with you. I'll play with you. Well, it's all about summum bonum. And we'll be having a Black's Law Dictionary, and we're going to zoom in, and then maybe after we zoom in, we'll stop, and then we'll take the close-in shot, because we'll lay the book on a photocopy machine and pay $3 to get summum bonum, and then do no harm, because these are two standards the world operates on. We're better than the doctors. We're better than the lawyers, because they can't say they do no harm. Hello again. My name is George, and the video you've seen just before this little piece here was a test to see if we could get the logic correct for the uptake into the system and that you could actually play it and see it back. A lot of computer crunching with data and bytes and bits, and was it compatible, and could you get it? Earlier today we tried to put a piece of film on there, 17 minutes and 58 seconds or something long, and it rejected it, but it's really important. So what we're going to do is, after this, there's going to be a two-piece video, part A and B. And Sean, who's taking this footage right now, he's our technician, and he's got a little bit of work to do. But the statement that is made in this A and B video several times is that we have sent letters both to the President of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama, and to an attorney with the Federal Trade Commission, Consumer Protection Section, by the name of William L. Haynes. And it's very important that they get these letters and have their chance to respond to us in a very businesslike and cordial and professional manner before we really get on the stick. And we're over here on YouTube because if we fire up the website, we're going to reveal the letters and everything else. So we've kind of got that on hold. This is the Energy Research Foundation. It's a New Mexico nonprofit corporation. And a lot of people don't understand about nonprofit corporations. Yeah, they make money. The business can, but the employees have a compensation plan. And even if the business was to take in $20 million this year, the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, whatever, cannot share in that money. They are set with their compensation plan. And that's the whole deal with nonprofit and profit. I'm sure the president of General Motors, when they sell 50 cars a week versus 50 cars a minute, I'm sure he shares in the profits, but that is not possible with a nonprofit corporation. We do not have huge funding. We're not, the word foundation, the whole issue with energy research, the foundation is energy of humanity and Yahweh the Creator. And it's really more important that you get the point across that, well, there's two kinds of Jews. Everybody wants to complain. And whether you see Jew A or Jew B, I figure the separation runs something like this. You have the Jews that said, give us Barabbas. And then the ones that were at the cross at the feet of the Savior crying. And there's the two Jews. At best, the Christians, that being a Greek word for Messiah, the anointed one, we're a grafted in branch. So we shouldn't be too willing to be too cocky towards the Jews and then to be a really worthless Christian believer and say, well, the Jews hung up Jesus, so let's hate the Jew. Well, that's stupid. But we're going to get into that quite a bit. We're going to have a lot of teaching here, and I hope you understand that. We're not looking to lead anybody astray. But anything we hand you, it's going to be in an easily readable English, in either a paraphrased Living Bible, NAV, NAS, NAB, Old King James, I don't know about all the way back to 1611 or 1641, because I understand they took the name Yahweh out of the first King James Bible 7,200 times. And, well, what we're going to do is tie these back to the website when it's up and running. And we're going to see about sending some emails out, and we'd like you to consider what's there. And last but not least, I owe you an apology. We always like to use radio correct language. And I used a 4-letter word in our tape, TV blows. And when you see this shot, it is the man was portrayed as being seen by the TV, by the globalist eye. And he had no idea that was actually happening. So when he said the S word, S as in Samsonite, or Federal Reserve Notes, well, I apologize, and I just want you to know that in the character of humor and trying to put something in front of you that was tasteful and radio correct, accurate, and that our Heavenly Father wouldn't be too upset with, but that we really get across to you the point that we are caring people, and we feed our dogs and water our cats, and make sure the neighbor's horse doesn't run through the yard too often, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much for your time, and please have a look under the Green Iron Peace heading. There'll be, I don't know how complete the list will be, but we'll go from there, and I thank you very much. And Sean will have this in the notations somehow, and you turn on the Green Iron Peace. There'll be some words there, a list somehow, and if not, we'll include it in the emails. Thank you so very much again, and just for a little clarification. On with the show. Let's see what's going on. Oh, and remember, we have to wait for President Barack Obama and or Mr. William L. Haynes to respond to our letters that we sent with proofs of service. And until they have their 30 days, we really can't fire up the website. So figure right around October, the beginning week of October, maybe shortly thereafter, the website will be on, and you'll be looking for pharaohschariots.com. And that is PHARAOHSCHARIOTS.com. And that's on GoDaddy. And have a good night's rest. Say your prayers, eat your broccoli. And I hope you all were raised by as good a mother and father as I were. I really had great folks. And thank you and good evening. Well, hello, Joyce Riley. This is our Joyce Riley High. That's how we have it logged. And that wonderful shot of the Nightingale ship and that patronizing Air Force, too. The whole to-do with this coming at you is this is a warning, a precursor to something longer. And the whole thing with letters and emails, as you said, they might get lost in the mix. But a DVD, you're going to get a chance to sit down, show the other girls, and Marie Gunther and all of those people. We'd like to get on your show, but 100,000 other people would like to. Well, I don't want to waste anybody's time. Definitely not. Today you had a guy on. Today's the 15th, the Thursday the 15th of September, and we can't put a complete disc together. There's no way for at least another 22 days or so. We have a letter that we sent to President Obama for his consideration, and we have to give him first shot. He's the guy in the driver's seat, you know, the office of the president. And then also to the Consumer Protection Section of the Federal Trade Commission, Mr. William L. Haynes. These letters have to be answered or responded to because we're going to spank them with them if they don't. We don't expect them to respond, but we have to give them their 30 days. And also this is about another person. We'll kind of, we have to tell you what's going on, but we can't tell you too much about what's going on, but we want to let you know this is the warning that something much more complete is coming. We have a website with a domain registry, but we can't even fire that up right now because of wanting to put those letters in there so that people can see this stuff. And there's no sense doing a presentation with you anytime in the near future until after, you know, the 7th or so of October, because these letters cannot be put in it until after that time. We put them in the mailbox on about the 8th of September. So we've got to wait till like the 8th of October, maybe more like 12th, which would allow 4 days for mailing going to D.C., you know, Washington, D.C. I'm the president of the Energy Research Foundation. My name is George Lee Harris, Jr. My mother is Jean Whiteman Harris. My father is George L. Harris. They share a condo with John Wayne in Newport Beach at Pacific View Memorial Park. And that's the kind of family I come from. Absolutely privileged. And that wonderful tune you hear, I should have been playing that in a white suit on the trombone, eating T-bone steaks for 30 years in Washington, D.C., and that's what Mommy planned for me. When he went back in the war after Saddam Hussein was supposed to have been tossing babies out of incubators, I tried to re-up too. The Wild Weasels, that was my squadron out of California. And they went and did their job, a bunch of F-4s and old thuds that probably went, and some 111s. And this turn, burn, snap, roll, hammerhead, stall, and just running and jamming, keeping the ground radar at bay. And they did their job. And while I was at Mommy's house trying to get that connection, my God, was she pissed. She's like, "What are you doing?" And she just grabbed the phone. She hung it up. Her phone, her kitchen. "I've bought enough Patriot missiles that you shouldn't have to go." And I'm like, oh my God. Dear Mumsy. Oh, yeah, we were looking to file up for a 501c3 status. We've been formed since 2005. We had our 47th year with the originating Eureka moment. So our 47th year began July of this year, 2011. So we're nothing new to the technology and all that stuff. And my experience has been extremely vast in a bunch of different fields. And you might say, what do you have a degree in? And I will say, well, if I got my degree back in 1980 and I haven't kept up in the trade journals, I have no degree that's relevant to our current time. And United States Air Force Institute, for one of my educational sources, does not provide you with a degree rating. But certainly you get an excellent education in the Air Force or any of the other services. They spend the money. And my tasks every day were secret and my documents were confidential. That was my zero place. We do advanced energy research and charitable works. And we're bringing along a friend for our last charitable work of the year, a Teresa Rowe, R-O-W-E. And Teresa's a cerebral palsy victim, and she's quadriplegic for all purposes. And we can discuss money here with you, what we can on YouTube or anyplace else, but we're looking for $5 a head, and for every $5, we're going to give $1 to Teresa. She needs 25 grand for teeth work, and of that, figured as three $8,000 amounts. $8,000 for dental work, $8,000 for orthodontia, and another $8 grand for transportation, because this is going to take 2 years, and this will all need to be prepaid. And the dentists and orthodontists and everybody else has to be prepaid so she can get the care, because she will have prepaid, because Obama ain't going to let it. She can't even get the gum and tooth care she needs now. Her life is in danger. Blood poisoning and everything else. This is not a joke. And she will be coming along behind this, and the video stuff you're going to see from our YouTube site. Currently, you will find a small single-page entry at GoDaddy.com. And you find that by going to Pharaoh's Chariots. That is PHAROHSCHARIOTS.com. And you'll see a simple page. It's got two aces. I'd like to think one of them's myself and the other one holding this camera taking this picture. Our last vice president is now in rehab. His mommy owns the rehab place, and I guess, well, that's what happens. You find out what people's character is and what they are and how they are. You find it a little too late in the game sometimes. And sometimes we take a chance on people and we just can't. But on your Today Show, you had on a guy named Ed McCabe, Mr. Oxygen. And Ed was really talking about oxygen, but there's one thing he didn't bring up, and a lot of people don't know, and physicians don't know diddly. They certainly don't know nutrition. But the whole to-do with the air we breathe. Oh, and they're going after nitrogen now. That was on Alex Jones' show today. They're going after nitrogen. 78% of the air we breathe is nitrogen. It doesn't react with nothing. I mean, oh my God, silicon, oil, and well, that's another topic for physics and science and all that. But there is a fuel that does mix with nitrogen and creates a tremendously combustible mixture, but it's not an oxygen fire, it's a nitrogen fire. But anyway, back to the oxygen and Mr. McCabe. Out of the gases that are in air, the one that is paramagnetic, that is the one that is affected by magnetism, is oxygen. And that relates to the whole thing with iron in your hemoglobin and a magnetic field established there. Excuse me. Too much coffee and too many cigarettes and too much cayenne and garlic in my diet. Too much is a good thing. And we're having a lot of people help us to get this stuff done. But the name of the game is we need the assistance of the American people. And what we're doing is we have Part A and Part B to this presentation. Part A is done. It's been done for decades. And that's revealed in the letters to Obama and to William L. Haynes, the attorney with the Federal Trade Commission. And this is a gift to America. But assuming we are worthy of our $1 billion for Part A, which is pretty much standard for unpatented items, you obtain 1 to 1.5% from a real sales value of a product, and looking at 200 million vehicles at $500 a piece. And I guarantee you there's more than $500 in a modern car with the wiring, the computers, the sensors, the fuel injectors. There's way more than $500. Catalytic converters, the precious metals, and then platinum and palladium and all of that. So there's your $100 billion at $500 a car, so 1% of that's $1 billion. And looking at 300 million people in America, and everybody wants something for their contribution, $300 million would let us give everybody $1. So $1 billion would be giving everybody $3. With the 200 million people, each of us giving each of their $5, there's $1 billion. Everybody gets $5. But that's what we're looking at doing. We have many other projects that are in line. Electric vehicles that don't require charging, gravity drive electrical generation, also part of a municipal water supply. This stuff's been something we've been trying to promote for a while, but it looks like the whole thing is in, how is it said, it's spiraling, and it's in the commode and going around, and it's kind of like making the turn, you know, it's in the Coriolis effect. And dear mom said it's really fun to be on the other side of the equator and watch the drain go the other way, you know. Something she got to see. Well, we're going to take a little break from this, and I have to remember something, or maybe we'll just let it run if it doesn't get too terrible out of hand. Oh, the whole thing with the 501c3, there's just a little too much preaching coming at you people in our continuous presentation on the website. I think you got to bury Yahweh. Stop calling me Lord. Call me Ishi. Lord is English for Baal. And it's all documented, man. The second chapter of Hosea, verse 16, it tells you, stop calling me Lord. And that's pretty much Hosea being a prophet, I would think he's talking to Yahweh. And I really appreciate how you honor that. But also the scientific validity of our work. We're going to be fighting some 25,000 scientists or more worldwide. And we addressed to Mr. Obama that, hey, you know, we were part of this thing that brought around the greening of America. We submitted scientific evidence and all that. The case was in Massachusetts. I had it way over to one side, over on the right coast, and kind of snuck it in on everybody. And I thought, hey, they're really going to appreciate our numbers, because we thought, yeah, because we can cut the fuel consumption, which is going to lower the carbon. But these people are looking to just go helter-skelter. Who knew? Who knew? I'm part of the problem. So we're going to come elbows and other body parts right in their hindquarters and straighten this thing out. And if we can't, then it's because we didn't try. But this is not a joke or a fallacy or some sort of a milk the public. And certainly oxygen is a good thing. Vitamin C, 5 to 7 grams a day, is a good thing. But Joyce, we really are hoping that you'll consider this presentation, see it in the sincere light in which it's considered and concerned. And I apologize that you two were sucked in by the babies being tossed out of the incubators. There we are, the innocent little children of the Father that we are. And it's sad how that will be taken and used against us. But we must see that all of these things that are happening, the validity of it, and the real part to see is the Communist Manifesto, fine. But what? Constance Cumby, okay? The entire 6th floor of the United Nations building is occupied by an organization who can trace its origins back before the time of Abraham. The Lucifer Foundation, the Lucius Trust, I believe they changed their name in the 20s. They occupy the entire 6th floor of the United Nations building, and that's a Rockefeller building. And that's just how it is, these royal families. I am the would-be Scottish prince and an heir to the Scottish throne. And I've had the fun of burying a business partner who was executed in his home by the bodyguard, and I buried 3 wives, and the 4th one isn't looking real good. She was submitted to an open heart surgery and bypass. While she was unconscious, somebody signed a paper. She might have died, and too bad we couldn't have gotten the garlic and the hyacinth and whatever is in that wonderful medication. But her grandmother and grandfather, her grandfather was the chief of the Seminole Nation, and her grandmother was the queen, and if they had a nation, she would be the current queen of the Seminole Nation. So it's rubbing shoulders everywhere along the way and having a really great time in life, and receiving the healings and the answer to prayer, and all those things are really viable and obvious tenets that one should obey in her daily life and be a good obedient servant. And that's what I'm calling you here. Calling you! You'll get another little letter in between saying, hey, we're about ready. And, because as soon as we hear from Obama and them, it's going to take a few days, a week or something to get stuff together for a more permanent CD and a better presentation. Now, let me get done with this hello introduction. We're going to hand the stuff to you that's on the YouTube site. These are some videos we put together. The very first one was just to see if we could have the logic right and get loaded up and actually present this with our low quality of equipment. And I guess it's just enough equipment, because here we are. Got a friend's going to put this memory stick on a disc for us. JPEG, MPEG, whatever the logic is, coming off of this from Windows Media, audio, video, la-di-da-di-da. And, oh man, how do we honor our parents? What do we do? Do we keep honoring people that are around us? And I believe we do. It's the gift. It's like, God, what do you give to parents who gave you everything? And it's the never-ending gift from parent to child. Well, I have an obligation. And the thing that had me quit my government service, December 6th of 1996, I was made aware of something very painful. And the presentation of the truth here, I don't want it to be too prurient, but the facts are the facts. As we look on the news, and that's what got me. I'm like you. I look at the news. Well, there's Bill Clinton, President of the United States, and we were told it was a man was the president of Beijing, China, and another man was the president of North Korea. I get informed that Hillary's seen as the prime minister of this country, and another woman, female, God only knows what kind of adjustment. Anyway, we'll tell the story. Hillary's seen as the prime minister of this country, another woman seen as the prime minister of Beijing, another woman the prime minister of North Korea, going to get together in California for a week, 10 days, and munch carpet and sew political alliances the way they did in the days of Mata Hari, and I guess that's the way things have always been done. But that's the world they're in. My sister's in that world, and if you want to thank somebody for RFID, that's my sister's project with Johnson & Johnson. And mine was to be, well, she always got the easy job. She got the number y'all. I was supposed to kill you all. Well, I didn't take it. I said, well, do you mind if I land an ultralight airplane in front of this place? And the man doing my interview said, nah, I don't care if you bring a pink submarine. Well, I knew I didn't want the job. And I needed the dough. I'd been unemployed for a year and a half. I know what these people are going through. Well, I've got an Uncle Sam check that comes. And someday these things are going to quit. And we're looking to take Pharaoh's Chariots over to Nevada. And that's where the Profit Corporation will be. And we'd like to put a nice old Cadillac on the NASCAR track over there and running that around. Maybe we'll get to do something with Danica Patrick. She drove Indy and runs a NASCAR car now. But I don't know what her contracts are like, and she may not be able to because they're not going to be burning alcohol. We're going to be burning gasoline. And that's how that is. So I think we've pretty much gotten the information. Let me give this thing a little quick look over. Yeah, Ed McCabe. The Pharaoh's Chariots is a name reserved only. We haven't chartered it yet, but will be a limited liability corporation because the state taxes in Nevada are non-existent. I don't know how long that's going to continue. But I look at all these people that have these 501c3s, and now they're going to give money, they're going to be collecting money, giving a tax credit. And that's kind of funny because that's taking taxpayer money through tax collection and the government's spending it. So where's the charitable give? They're giving money and then they're going to get it back from the tax man. And I don't want that tied together. I want, and you might say, well, what's $5? $5 to me is a lot of money. It's got Abraham Lincoln on it. And when I would walk up to Walmart or Zodi's or whatever department store, and there's a girl out front with a table and a chair, and she's got that little tin box, and she's like Women and Children's Shelter, I'd lay a $1 bill up there and a $5 bill. And they'd go like, wow. And I go, the one's for my mom and the five's for my dad. Figure it out. And they just laugh. Have a look at all this stuff. And we'll have some more to drop in here on you. But consider Teresa's condition, because this is what we'd like to have. And if you're going to do is put us on air, we need to let her talk. So we're going to let her talk in her presentation. And if you think she's got enough viability and mental stay-togethers and stuff, she'll be 51 this coming October 2nd. And to be alive with cerebral palsy is amazing. Thank you. Yahweh bless you. Check out the rest of this presentation. might want to look at some of it twice. Make sure you catch this stuff because sometimes I talk out of the side of my mouth. And I meant to say 17 years in the second or third video presentation where it discusses how long the attorney from New York had a patent on the automobile before Henry Ford. And Henry Ford was a real nice guy. He drank a lot of breast milk from lactating black women because of the antibodies that were present. So he's a real interesting guy, although he was a racist. But the thing that's coming is this, in its completeness. They have the useless eaters. And that's the Cecil Rhodes people, of which Mr. Clinton is a Rhodes Scholar. Well, who needs those people? Like they're special? Yeah, they're special. They think so. They've talked to Satan. They're told they're special. And he's lied to them and told them, yeah, man, you're my bros. I'm going to take care of you. He don't care. I call them the useless breathers, and Satan don't need to breathe. They're following a king that will not, he's already destroyed. You know, Satan has already managed. We know what's happening. And if in this life I should pass away and not be available, I guarantee I'll be in heaven praying for you. Get it on!
Sound test 3.
Well, after listening to Jerry Doyle on KOKC 1520 AM this evening, this is the 12th. This is the day after the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. Wow. Well, between him and let's see who else. Oh yeah, Michael Savage. You need an election. You need jobs. Jobs are provided by invention, and we have no patent system. It's just crap. But really, we have no government, because what I was hearing was earlier recordings of General Powell, large black general that went before the United Nations Commission, and let's see, George W., I guess, went later, but Herbert Walker was in there. They all kept saying, we have this democracy. We don't have a democracy. And you all sit there and suck it down the pipe like it was rote. Benjamin Franklin was asked, and pardon me, sir, by a lady. I don't do a lady voice too good. What form of government do we have? You have a constitutional republic, if you can hold on to it.
Yep.
It's nothing but crap. A democracy is mob rule. And I don't know who said it, but mob rule is like two wolves and a sheep discussing what's for dinner. But if it was a constitutional republic, a sheep would have a gun. We're a fledgling new organization in terms of how we're trying to get to you. And we're starting up a website, but we don't dare fire it up yet because we're not ready for you. Because we have to wait. We sent a letter to Mr. President Barack Obama of the United States and to an attorney, William L. Haynes of the Federal Trade Commission, whose job it is to go after high mileage per gallon fuel systems for automobiles. Our website is this. And the camera will zoom in. And we are pharaohschariots.com. And if you will turn to your left, my right, and shoot this, we're over here with these people. GoDaddy. Now, it's kind of cute that the guy that invented this thing, Chevrolet, is Louis Chevrolet, and that's her actual father's first name. Louis Meyer is the father of Danica Patrick. He's a great race car driver. Chew tobacco and smoke cigars at the same time. Isn't that something? But we have no government, and we have no patent system. I cannot remember the man's name, but there was a gentleman who invented the automobile. He was an attorney. And I believe it was just before 1900 or shortly thereafter, because Henry Ford had a little problem. He had a 1903 Ford he brought out, and it ended up becoming a Cadillac. A 1903 Ford and a 1903 Cadillac are the same car, except for an engine. The Ford ran a 2-cylinder, and the Cadillac had a 1-cylinder. But Ford couldn't own the car because this New York attorney had patented the first self-propelled vehicle. And I believe he had a 7-year patent. Well, not only do we not have a patent system, but we break the laws, and Henry Ford formed the ACLU. Isn't that nice? The American Civil Liberties Union existed only to smash the patent belonging to another man legally formed. Do you know what a patent does? We're unpatented. What does a patent do? It gives you permission to go to court to defend your patent. And that's all it does. We were told by the Chief Secretary of Patent in the U.S. Patent Office in 1973 to, in fact, if our Part A of this project worked and had as few as 2 moving parts, to not patent it. They would prove they owned it before we did, and that would be the end of it. And we'd never have nothing. So seeing as if those things has been lies, and yeah, 1973 Vietnam, I'm an Air Force veteran. I have 2 honorable discharges under honorable. And my job is to make airplanes invisible. And I've been shot up good. I can't donate blood or organs. I've had anthrax, cholera, typhoid, malaria, 2 kinds of plague, and God knows what the hell else. And there's some shots you get, and they make your left arm fall off, and some of them make you very sick. And, well, Joyce, you're going to get this. And you're going to get a letter. And we're going to try and present this stuff, but we kind of have to wait. So this is the beginning of our presentation. If you go to YouTube, and you will find a fun name. You will find this. Green iron peas. And it says Part B here. This is Part B of our to-do. Part A was a fuel system. The gasifying of gasoline. And that is what our letter discusses with Mr. President Barack Obama. But what we're doing is Part B. Green iron peas. Why green iron? Well, it's green. And it actually is an iron. You're going to see it. We'll get that on video here for you. But this is more or less an introduction of what we're all about. And you may as well get some more. You may as well have a word. It starts with a capital T. T-E-T-R-A-G-R-A-M-M-A-T-O-N. Tetragrammaton. Capital T. Did you get that? T-E-T-R-I-A. I'm sorry. Starting again. Capital T. E-T-R-A-G-R-A-M-M-A-T-O-N. Tetragrammaton. And there you will find Yahweh. There are vowels and there are consonants. And that's where we start. But you guys all do something that really, really, really ticks me off. And you have failed to obey the Maker. You call him Lord all the time. Oh, my Lord God. Well, go to Hosea. And I believe we have here chapter 2, verse 16 in Hosea. And he says, quit calling me Lord. But it uses the Hebrew name. It uses Baal. Well, I wouldn't call him Baal. You do when you're saying Lord. That's the English for the Hebrew. In fact, my Lord is said Baali, the I. You say Abba for father. If you want to say my father, you say Abi. The same with Baal or Baal. Isn't that cute? So we need to start saying Ishi, meaning my husband, but probably more correctly, my husbandman. Because as all dummies, we are little sheep that have gone astray. And we need someone to rub the ointment into our thick woolly fur and get it into our flesh to heal us. This organization was founded in 2005. It's been attacked. This is where vaporized gasoline is. Actually, it's gasified. It's not a vapor. It's invisible. The world's first carburetor, well, one you'd remember was Henry Ford's wife with a spoon on the kitchen table using parts from one of the Thomas Edison generating plants where they ran steam engines, and that was Henry Ford's first valves or parts and stuff from the Edison plant where Henry Ford worked at as an employee of Thomas Edison. And they had sparks that came from a wire coming out of the ceiling, and Henry Ford's old lady was the carburetor with a spoon. So they haven't gotten much further than that. But the most modern thing you'll see was a thing called a nebulizer. And people use that for albuterol and other breathing steroids. You've taken enough of them to where you can't sleep? My current Secretary of Treasury is, he don't sleep. We're probably going to have to change him out because he doesn't follow instructions very well. And is one of those guys that likes to run the show when he's part of a team. It is so hard to run a non-profit corporation. What is a non-profit corporation? Oh, you guys can't make any money. Well, we haven't been making a lot. In fact, we've barely been hanging on by a nail, but that's okay. But the whole thing with a non-profit corporation is this, whether it's chartered in New York, California, Texas, or here in New Mexico. I believe there's an address here. There it is. Post Office Box 455. Tucumcari, Tucumcari, New Mexico. 88401-0455. And that is the address of both Pharaoh's Chariots, myself, I am George Lee Harris Jr., and our new organization, Pharaoh's Chariots. But the nebulizer was a carburetor. That's how it was first marketed. And that man sold that for $70 million, I believe was the price. They came twice. But we're talking back in the early 80s on that. And now you use it for your inhaled medication. So there's been a lot of things along the way. But these things get bought, they get shelved, they go to medical uses and whatever else. But you'd better wake up. There are no jobs. There are no new ideas. Without ideas, there are no new jobs. Without a patent system, there won't be any. You might say, well, if you make it a better mousetrap, they'll beat a pathway to your door. BS! They can't. They're stockholders, and they want their 10% return for their investment. And be damned if a brand new mousetrap comes out, because you'll have to overcome all the money and them old pensioners sitting there. The system is all destroyed and prevented from you having anything that you would really want or need. I don't quite know how we're going to proceed or continue. We can't open the website yet until we have a response from our dear president. And he probably doesn't care, other than I think Big Gas and Oil elected him. But we're looking for a tape, because I understand that it was accurately reported yesterday. Wonderful, let me see, what day was it? No, it was reported today. Today is Monday, the 12th of September, by Joyce Riley on her show at GCN.com. Her show is the Power Hour. If you want to contact her, it's powerhour@powerhour.com. And she reported that Mr. Obama and his wife Michelle, George W. and Laura Bush went to Ground Zero in New York, and Bill Clinton was somewhere along the way crying. He's just so sad. I guess Boehner was unavailable. And they stood behind bulletproof glass in our ultra-safe country. And Mr. Obama, reading from scriptures, says, I am the Lord, thy Lord God. He read this sentence, I am thy Lord God. Well, I want to verify that, and I'm going to dig around tomorrow. But you're going to get a chance to look at this. And we've looked at Twitter, and we've looked at Tweeter and Twatter, and there's other letters that probably won't go in there. Doesn't sound too good. Don't miss nothing. I'm just like you. I'm somebody's snotty kid. But I learned not to say go to hell when I was 14. My mom was stringing a mop. And it was summer, and I might have just been 13. But I said go to hell. Well, the mop never got strung, but I got tuned up. And it just went on and on and on. And I cried and I bled, and it didn't quit. But I've never said that to anybody ever again. Never again. So while you're looking at this and thinking about what we're trying to do and what's really going on, I am the president of the Energy Research Foundation. We are a New Mexico nonprofit corporation. We're opening up Pharaoh's Chariots as a profit corporation, and we're going to charter this thing and run it in Nevada because there are no state taxes there for corporations. You will find that name listing under NV. That is Nancy Vermont. SOS.gov. So you have NVSOF standing for Secretary of State.gov, and type that in on the internet, and you will get the Secretary of State of this fine silver state of Nevada. Go to business entities, type in Pharaoh's Chariots. We didn't use an apostrophe on our website address because it gets a little confusing, and I bet people don't know how to spell Pharaoh, guys, I didn't either. And we'll explain to you what the deal is with Pharaoh here. We may as well right now. In your Bible, in Exodus, you have Pharaoh's chariots going after the people. And they were going along, and then the Holy Maker, Yahweh, knocked the wheels off of them. And they didn't say God, and they didn't say the son of Zeus or Zeus. They said Yahweh knocked the wheels because they knew. Moses told them, I'm sure. Moses was the servant, and Aaron was the priest. And the miracles flowed, and Yahweh knocked the wheels off their chariots. I'm going to drive this car till the wheels fall off. Here's mud in your eye. You SOB, bet you're born in a barn, shut the door. It never ends. Everything is cursing our son, the son of the living God. So we want to keep the wheels on our chariots, and you're going to help us. And we're somewhere else in a location where it'd be legal and lawful, within the constraints of these organizations. whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, on the website. We're going to ask you for some money, but we're not going to ask you here. And we don't want much. If you got a shipping fee, you've got us. But we're here to help you. Nobody else is. They're not doing anything for your fuel economy. And if you think that $5 a gallon is a big bunch, walk down your grocery aisle and start looking at canned goods. Vegetables, just vegetables, peas, corn, green beans. Isn't every can on the shelf $1 or $1.09? Asparagus are $4.25. We've got a phone number, but if you really want to do something, take the time to send us a letter and say what you're doing. Because we're a little busy right now setting up all of this stuff and waiting for the President of the United States and the consumer protection people at the Federal Trade Commission, Attorney William L. Haynes, who we have previously sent a letter to in 1992. We may reveal the contents of that letter to William L. Haynes. We may not. We're still trying to make that decision. But the website is not on. You can get over there and you will see green iron peas. Cars are iron. Green, yeah, 800% increase in fuel economy. Maybe more, we don't know. This has never been done. What we're doing at this point is a newly designed engine for the internal combustion of gasified gasoline. It's invisible. In your car, it's not. Walk out in the front yard with a garden hose and spray it around and see how much your driveway or your sidewalk or your grass gets. How much of it stayed in the air? Well, there you are, liquid gasoline. Liquid and air don't mix. Ice cubes and liquid don't mix. Oh, they will when it melts. Well, water doesn't melt. Gasoline doesn't melt. It vaporizes. Well, does it? Can you see the vapors? See, the thing is with gas coming out of your stove, you can't see it. And that's where we take gasoline to. Gasified gasoline. Well, I've taken enough of my young friend's time. Vice President of this Holder organization, the Energy Research Foundation, is talking to his mom and having a real life, and we have a real life. I feed cats and dogs, and we got enough dirt and buildings here to handle you guys helping us to help you. And we will put it here, just like this, good light, time of day don't matter. You can review it in your good time when you want to. But we're going to see about getting on air with some of these shortwave, internet, TV stuff, Telsat, roddy-dotty-dotty. And just maybe, little old Danica will want to drive our car, but over there she's got nothing but a taxi cab. You see, real cars don't have fenders, but that's a lady and she should drive a lady's car. It's all the great big strong studs that have no boobs driving next to her like Dale Earnhardt that I guess just aren't on competition. Go get them, Danica, kick their butt. Oh, be sure and put in a good grade of windshield lubricant. You never know when you might have to have somebody slide across the glass. Or do they do that in NASCAR? Oh, did I say taxi cab? Yeah, I'm a USAC guy, open wheel racer. My dad started with Harry Miller. You go from there. Hey, y'all have a good evening. Sleep well. Say your prayers. And don't forget, quit calling my Savior Lord and start calling him my husband. Or if you can't stand that because you have some virility problem, or really your manhood is being challenged, go watch football. You can say Ishi means my husband, because Lord is Baal. And that's all you're saying. Well, it's going to be the educational channel, and we've got a TV all set up just for you, all of you, and you're going to love it. You ought to recognize the scene. You'll know when you see it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just riding out here to see what George is up to. He's bragging about a new TV. Something like that. Let's see, somebody's got a boarded up school bus. That's kind of fun. Ah! It's pretty nice out here. He always does pick the best spots. Oh, what the heck is that thing over there? Looks like a factory. That's weird. Oh wow, look at all those cars. Feels pretty green. it's all full of trees and stuff. Huh. That's kind of fun. Does that say speed hump? Oh, peed hump. That's fun. Alright, let's see what this guy's about. Wow, he's got all sorts of little cars out here. Hey, George!
Hey, Sean, what's up, man? Thanks for coming over.
You're welcome. Just wanted to come over and see what your new TV was all about.
Oh, man, go ahead and shut this thing down and put it in park and get on out, man. Can you spend a minute?
Yeah, I can.
I think you're going to like this.
Alright, what's this new TV all about?
Oh, man, come check this out. Pull up a chair, Sean.
What in the world? Don't you ever clean your living room?
Oh, I picked it up a little, dude. I threw out the big trash. Hey, check out my wife beater upholstery, man. That's pretty
That's
cool,
kind
huh?
of fun.
Yeah.
What's with your shirt? What's that say?
Oh, it came with the TV setup, dude. It's the TV Blows Company.
Why do you have a chain around your neck?
It's part of the deal, dude. It's like you'd never want to leave. It just kind of helps reinforce the real positive nature of Channel 666. Dude, this is sincere, man. And it's so much better than your TiVo. That TiVo sucks, dude. It's like you can select everything, but this is a 9/11 marathon.
Oh, boy.
And, yeah. And it gets all the channels. It kind of just runs them together, and you really never know what channel it's on, but you're always on 666. You don't got to get up. There's no hand control, no clicker. It's so much easier. And as far as, I just take a leak right here, you know. I don't got to go nowhere. I'm out of tobacco. Maybe you can go to the store for me in a while and give me a sandwich or something, because once I hook this up, it's on, dude. But this would have been like Discovery Channel and Home Shopping Network and Lesbian and Gay TV and ABC and CBS and BFD and BFH, all the big channels, dude. And it just runs it, dude. So I got this 9/11 marathon rolling. I've been here since Sunday, bro. And I need something to drink. Maybe you could help me out. But the TV Blows. They're really good people, man. They said they'd send somebody. Is that how you came over? How'd you come over anyway?
I was just driving to see what your new TV was about. I don't know. I
How'd you
never
hear
even
about-
heard about this
How'd you
before.
hear about my TV in a special box, dude?
I thought you called.
Oh, I don't got your new cell number. Maybe the TV called you because you're on some kind of my friends list or something. You're the only friend I got, Sean.
That's strange.
And they must know
That's
your
creepy.
address and everything, dude.
Something,
Did you get a map and everything?
No.
Oh, you knew about
Yeah.
Oh.
I knew where you lived. It's just, well...
Well, dude, I tell you what, man, I'd appreciate you hanging out a bit more, but could you run to the store and get us a couple of sandwiches or something?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you when you get back.
All right.
Yeah, man, this setup's so cool. Yeah, everybody's worried about, man, TV watching, like, the big globalists, man, like they, put an eye on you and stuff, but I ain't going for it, man. I think that's all a bunch of shit. Like they'd come in your room and watch you play with yourself and everything. I don't believe that stuff. Not for a minute. Whenever they show you something on TV, I have a nice model.
Yeah.
This is the picture on the outside. All right. Oh, no, get over here. Nice straight shot. So, who are you?
Teresa.
Hang on, we got some traffic. Teresa, who's Teresa?
Teresa Rowe.
Isn't there a name in between?
Teresa Evangelista.
Evangelista Villanueva.
Sí.
Y Antola está enfrente de la terminada. Can she get heard that close? You might want to get closer. Make sure you can hear her. ¿Y cómo te llamas, mija?
Teresa Rowe.
Hey, Antola. Do you ever say the whole name?
Sometimes, but hardly ever.
Hardly ever? People are not expecting your culture, are they?
Nope.
That you are a proud woman and that you are bright. They don't expect that, do they?
Nope.
Do they
I
see
am
you?
bright.
What were you saying, love?
I am bright.
Well, you've told me they see the chair, they don't see you. Is that common?
That's pretty common, yes.
Even with the professional people, huh? Dentists, doctors.
They always see the chair instead of me.
You remember when we went to Texas, a few months back, and they were supposed to figure out if the chair was running right and either do a repair or a replacement?
They would do a repair, not a replacement.
Did they believe you?
No.
And you live in the chair. This is your piernas, your legs, right?
Yes.
When we go for a walk, I walk beside you. And I take Teresa or she takes me, depending on who has the money. But she is rica. She is the rich woman. Are you rich in the Spirit of God?
Of course I am.
There you are. Currently, this wonderful thing's on eBay for $175.
They have one?
Yeah, there's several of them on there, but they're not as complete as this. They're not in the box. They don't have the instructions. They don't have the parts list. They don't have the little can for the gasoline. Can you hold on to that? I'll hold the box. Teresa's really strong in her right hand. That iron's heavy. What kind of iron is this? What do we do with it?
It's a Coleman
Yeah, it's a Coleman, but for what do you do with that iron?
ironing
Clothes, huh?
clothes.
You know how old this is?
Maybe over 100.
No, it's way more than 50. Let me see. But you know, it's not a green iron, is it?
No, it's kind of like
It's a blue, huh?
blue turquoise.
Yeah, it sure is. Let me see if we got an instruction sheet or something. Ah ha ha.
Kind of like your eyes, George.
Like my crazy eyes? All right. The secret of successful use of Coleman gasoline irons. This iron is designed to meet the needs of all ironers. Its large capacity burner is built to give the heat necessary for the fast ironer on heavy damp material. To save money and always make your ironing more comfortable, keep the iron to the lowest flame possible to maintain the heat. Somewhere it says use fresh gasoline. Oh, important. What fuel should I use? Coleman gasoline appliances are built to operate properly on any fresh, clean, unleaded motor, gasoline, or stove and lamp naphtha. Straight run gasolines and naphthas make the best fuels. I think it's great, man. Have you experienced any difficulty? Keep the fuel clean. Da, 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 da. Wow, no fecha. What is fecha?
Date.
The date. This lady is bilingual and can't get employed somewhere. That's just stupid.
Because of the chair, George.
Yeah, I know. They're Pink Jones. They're nobody I want to know. Made in United States of America. Is that not cool? General offices, Wichita, Kansas, Ontario, Toronto, Canada, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, and Honolulu, Hawaii. Boy, they got a picture of a sun on this thing. Well, this is a Model 4A instant lighting Coleman iron. Runs on gasoline. I don't have anything here with the date. We'll have to check the eBay and see what year these things are. I have no idea. How old do you think a gasoline iron is?
Over 50.
I don't know, gasoline has been around for a while, huh?
Yeah. There might be a date on that one.
Where you guys from that?
I bought it.
What, in a Metro?
It was in a store in town. It's an antique.
Oh,
Let me check it and see if there's a date on it. Maybe Shauna has better eyes than me. Let me look though. See if I can see it. Let me turn it over. It's an iron.
you cannot smoke when you iron the clothes. Damn, I don't need that.
Oh yeah, you don't need an extension cord. Electricity hasn't always been around us. Coleman, Wichita, Instant Light Model 4A. Made United States of America. La-di-da-di-da. Yeah, we don't have a date. All right, we're shot. I'm going to sit here and be a pig and eat popcorn in front of you. Is that okay?
That's fine.
There we go. Don't we do this all the time? come outside,
Yes.
talk about the Heavenly Father,
Yes.
prayers He's answered for us and stuff? So what are we trying to do as far as this presentation? Are we trying to get famous?
I hope so.
You hope so? You want to be famous? Like Tom Cruise famous? Not quite like Tom, maybe.
More famous than Tom Cruise.
More famous. I think you could with a good wheelchair factory.
To have my own wheelchair factory is my dream.
Think you could make a better chair than that?
Oh, yes. I would employ handicapped people to do the work. Because it's hard for us to get jobs.
So money wouldn't spoil you.
No. Money wouldn't spoil me.
It hasn't yet, huh?
No.
So I hear you're going to be a really old lady in a few days.
Yeah, I'll be 51 in a couple of weeks.
And you want a pig in the ground, huh?
It'd be nice.
Cooked it right. Would you put up with a nice dinner at the Olive Garden?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Well, for our immediate goal, we're trying to get you some dental help, huh?
Yes.
And you have Medicare and Medicaid?
Yes, I do.
Is it like having nothing?
It's like having nothing.
Do they even, go ahead.
They don't pay for dental work that I need. They hardly don't even pay for any kind of dental work.
They'll pull a tooth, right?
That's about all they do is pull your teeth out.
Will they do any of the gum work or repair anything you need?
No. I sent an application to get help for my gums, and they turned me down. They said they wouldn't pay for that.
Did they tell you why? They just don't pay her.
They just don't pay, I guess.
Yeah, they like to pull teeth.
And if I want my teeth fixed, most of them think it's cosmetic work.
Yeah, people confuse cosmetics with having a decent bite.
But Medicare doesn't pay for any kind of cosmetic work for it.
Well, no, because they call it cosmetic. They think it's a boob job, but it's working on your teeth. Is getting your teeth worked on a boob job?
No, it's necessary for me to be able to eat.
It'll change the shape of your face, too. Is it a health issue?
Yes, because I get like abscess. I have one right now, right here,
Oh.
on my back tooth.
And what would they do to fix that?
Currently antibiotics. And
All right, so you remember earlier today? We're inside your church now, aren't we?
yes,
This is your church.
that's right.
Well, we were earlier today and you were holding the little iron. We were behind the building, weren't we?
Yes.
And now we are indoors con las palmas muertes, with the dead palms. The truth, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Está durmiendo esta iglesia, no?
See, it's sleeping right now.
And it's sleeping. It's waiting for the momento, the arrancanda, no? The beginning, the start,
Yes.
a new start. Before we were talking about some things and you began to tell us about that you had an abscess.
Yes, that's right.
Tell us about how this is affecting your life and what these people with Medicare and Medicaid they would do. A dentist, would they normally do a root canal or something on an abscess, or would they try to save the tooth, right?
They might drain it or give me some antibiotics.
Do you think they would right now?
take Medicare where I live, and in some places they don't pay for work that I need.
So even to get something as dangerous to your life as an abscess handled, there's nobody in this town that does this work.
No.
So it's at least a 100-mile drive to go here. Seen no services, nothing. They won't help.
Nope.
Wow. And you've been to another dentist and you figured all this out, and you went and you've seen a guy. Who did you go see and what did he tell you? Tell us all about that.
It was Greg Sanchez in Albuquerque.
Tell us. We don't know. Tell all these people.
He said that I needed root canal and cleaning my gums and fix all the rest of my teeth with braces and possibly implants.
And the whole thing with you having your teeth pulled and running plates is if you cough or sneeze and you're sitting in this chair, where do the plates go if you're outside?
On the floor, and I couldn't put them back in myself.
No. It'd be hard for you to brush them and maintain plates, so plates are not the answer for you.
No.
And you like to eat your food, huh?
Yeah, I'm having trouble eating meat right now because I'm in pain.
We didn't know. So Sanchez, he gave a diagnosis, a prognosis, a procedure that he would take you through in steps.
Yeah.
And we looked at that in the orthodontics, and Sanchez is going to be around 8,000.
Yes.
And the orthodontics would be about 2 years. It'd be about the same amount of money, maybe 7,500, but say 8,000.
Yeah, and that's not counting the implants.
Oh, that wouldn't be with the implants? So easily, without transportation, this is going to go sailing past 16,000 for the orthodontics and for the other work.
Yes.
And this isn't that much money, really. These people that you see on TV with all the beautiful teeth, they're what, about $2,000, maybe $3,000 a tooth?
Yes.
So they're what, like $50,000 to $80,000 to have teeth put in their head for all these beautiful people on the news and all of that.
That's right.
And you want to save your natural teeth all that you can, right?
Yes.
And the ones that aren't going to make it, deal with those problems, and you're all ready to deal with this.
Yes.
And we're not going to be putting you in the movies, are we?
No.
Right here. But for your health and for your life and for nutrition, this needs done.
I need to have my gums done first before they do the other work.
Oh, yeah, right now, huh? This is like, we can do this in stages or however, but we need to do this and you need to be able to pay for it. So, how many $1 million do you make a month?
How much do I make a month?
Yeah?
$692.
And then you got to pay for food, and you've got a couple of little doggies you'd like to feed, and you might have to turn on the electricity every now and then. And
Yeah, and I gotta pay for my house, my utilities, and food, gas on the car.
if you want some new clothes, you've got to buy clothes, and
Sometimes, not very often, because sometimes I don't have enough money.
so this would really help you. It would free up a little extra cash for you. It would improve your health.
Yeah.
And this is no kind of a joke.
No.
And you've tried everything.
I tried everything.
We've been to the Elks, and they don't want to help, you know.
They never responded.
Yeah. So any place that could help you and traditionally has been helped, they're not there.
No.
And the big deal with needing this money is to prepay these physicians for their help, because once Obama gets here, there's no care now, and there's going to be less care. Is that about what you heard?
Yes. I basically don't have nothing now.
And you've tried. You've called. You've care providers and whatever, but then there's nothing.
Medicare does hardly ever pay for it, except to pull your teeth.
So if we're going to make you healthier, we're going to pull your teeth, and then you're going to live putting your food through La Machine.
They'll put like
Oh, the dentures?
Yeah, those.
But you can't use the dentures.
No. And I'm still too young for dentures. I'm only going to be 51.
You just need some good professional care. And you can't pay for it if you don't have the ability. And that's what we're doing here. We're looking to help you with
But with God's help, I'm hoping to get the public to help me. Because I really do need the help.
You pray?
Yes, of course.
You pray for others?
Yes, of course.
Have you seen the results?
Yes.
And when you try to help your family, what's the next thing that happens? Yesterday, what happened?
What happened yesterday?
Yeah, you're helping your sister. You bought a video camera from her.
Because she said her daughter was sick, and I gave her $50.
You bought a video camera.
Yeah.
And you've even offered that to us, which would be a help.
Yes.
And what did you find out later when she'd been in the house and you loaned her the money, or you gave the money, I guess?
Yes, I gave her the money.
So you're Auntie Teresa to this child.
Yeah, my niece and my two nephews.
And all of that. And you wanted the help, and you did.
Yeah, I felt sorry for my niece, because she's got asthma. She's only 8 or 9 years old.
And you've loaned us your vehicle, is that true?
Yes.
And do we take decent care of it?
Yes.
We haven't sold it or nothing on you.
No.
But we're here for a good purpose, I would think.
Yes.
Have I got pretty teeth?
Yes, George, you do.
And why do I have pretty teeth?
Because you take care of them and
No, I had really good parents that spent thousands and thousands of dollars on them when I was younger. They would have already fallen out. I've already had like $5,000 worth of orthodontia 45 years ago. But you got to brush them and take care of them and all that stuff.
But they did a good job on you.
Oh, yeah.
Your teeth still look good.
They spent the money. I didn't have it as a child. If I'd have been on Medicare or Medicaid, I'd have already had no face. My jaw, my bottom jaw collapsed into my face. I'd have looked like that. Of course, I could use a haircut and a shave, but that's all right. If there was anything you could say to people who would like to help you, either help you directly, because what we're going to do is we're looking to these same people you're talking to, and we want $5 a piece from them for what we're doing with energy research and to finish up an engine project. But for every $5 they give to us, we're giving you $1 from each $5 bill. Have I explained that to you?
Yes.
But if they want to call you and deal directly with you and send you $20 or $50 or whatever, you have a separate bank account and a post box just for tooth money, correct?
Yes.
We're losing our light. Click. Well, now that we've had that station break, let's go back to our interview with Miss Teresa Evangelista Villanueva Rowe. How'd I do?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, we're going to make sure that we have your address and everything in this so that they will have it. I'd hope to have you holding up a cardboard box or something like that with some nice lettering on it. But I think it's more important that they get to see you. But this is just our little teaser video for Miss Joyce Riley. And I think Joyce is a widow right now. I don't think she's espoused at this point in her life. And she reaches out to help a lot of people. And we'll see what she can do and what her people can do for us, and that's what's going on. And if not at this door, we'll go knock at a few more doors. We've got quite a few people to see, but there's a guy named Ted Anderson who owns Genesis Communication Network. He's in Minnesota. And maybe Ted would want to do something, I don't know. But we'll go from there. Is there anything else you would like to say, or a prayer you would like to say for our country, or anything?
I'd like to say thank you and God bless you.
Amen, sister. Thank you. morning from wonderful Tucumcari, New Mexico. This thing in front of us is a no longer produced Pontiac Fiero. This is the last piece of work that Smokey Unick, Henry Unick, Y-U-N-I-C-K, of Daytona, Florida, had with his super vaporized fuel. He was running one. This one has a V6. He was running one that had a 4-cylinder, and he had the car producing 300 horsepower, and it was getting 60 miles a gallon. Now, what Smokey had with super vaporized fuel is he was trying to have the engine exhaust heat the gasoline to whatever vaporized state it would be in. It certainly wasn't a gaseous state. We've made that jump. We have our gasoline looks just like natural gas. It's absolutely invisible. You know, it's just like, can you see my hand? That's what it looks like. That's what our gasoline looks like. It mixes better, it makes better power. The deal with Henry was he had some patents. He had national, U.S. and international patents. And we're going to pull up the other stuff. Now, this is the end. Joyce, hey, good morning, Joyce, and Power Hour team and Power Hour members. Mr. Anderson, I hope your dad's doing much better. Alex is certainly looking next to another hunting trip. That'd be great. Get him out of Austin, would you? He needs a break. Winter's on the way. Make a snowman. Throw snowballs at each other again. Life's so important. Normally behind me there'd be some llamas over here, but I can't see them today. Maybe they're next to the wrecking yard over there. Well, what Henry had done is he had become a partnership. And he talks about his plasma, spark plugs, and all that fancy stuff. It's in Popular Science. We'll show you that stuff in our second disc. But this is part of a teaser. But the thing that happened with Henry is being a partnership. He thought he was a partnership of he himself is one part, General Motors a second part, and a European concern. And it turned out that the European concern was a GM subsidiary. Hence the last conversation I had with Henry Unick when I was in Daytona was, hey kid, if you own a third of something, you've got nothing. Our stuff's about a third again, maybe twice as efficient as what's going in this thing. And we have this car, and we can duplicate what he did for just fun. But we're looking to put a much larger car on the track in Las Vegas, Nevada. A much larger car. This one here weighs about a ton and a quarter maybe. The Caddy probably weighs close to 5,200 pounds, over 2 tons. And that's the name of that tune. Well, in closing, Joyce, what I'd like to say to you in all seriousness is we have a few things planned for that second disc coming to you. A little more of a revelation of Teresa's body, properly clothed, nothing indecent. This isn't pernicious or purient. We can't claim that thing that Frank Zappa said so eloquently. I'm the best you can get. Have you guessed me yet? I make you think I'm delicious with the things that I say. I'm the slime oozing out of your TV set. Now, that's what we've already had that. That's plain. But I'm the guy that successful people hate because they got to work at it. In fact, my friend Rob says, I've got to work at this for hours and hours, and it just falls out of your ass. That's what he said. We can't change history. And I said, yes, and that effortlessly. They've all had to struggle, man. But I thought I'd end with a couple of little things. Joyce, you said the answer. We all know the problem. What's the answer? I have the answer, but we'll tell you in the second disc. You want the answer? I've got it for you. No problem. We're not going to share it with you here because we want you to want to see that second disc. And another thing you'll want to see that second disc is a glutathione pill that doesn't raise blood serum levels, but in fact bypasses the gut and ends up in the liver at not a 1.2, but at a 10. At the cellular level. And we're able to, no, we're not. Associates, people we know, other people in the world that work hard, those that are tied closely to us through faith in the living God. Yeah, we, us. Those that are still here and give a hoot and a bang, And we'll also break out with ALERT, Americans Liberty Energy Research Team. That's what pops up, and that's what's going to be on the website. It'll still be Pharaoh's Chariots. And we desperately want people who have read the scriptures to know what's going on in Exodus and help us keep the wheels on. But we'll give a close here with a little story about my friend Robert Grishkoff. He's lead principal horn player, French horn, orchestra general manager and all that for the Johannesburg Symphony Orchestra. And yeah, if I wanted to go down there and play trombone, I could. Hey, Robbie, baba, 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 and that'd be that. But yeah, am I good enough? Yeah, I was 30 years ago. I'd probably have to do a little plan, get my embouchure in shape. But on with the story. Robert ended up having a kid. He married a nice Jewish girl, and they were eating shrimps like this in clamshells at his wedding. I just saw the pictures. But it came time for him to have a child. And it became time for him to have a toy for that child, a gift from me to his son. And Robert was always worried about going deaf. He had a hereditary deafness thing genetically. His mom had it. He was worried he'd have it, and he'd never be able to play the French horn. So it came to, his dad was going. His dad was going to South Africa to see his son, my friend. And I thought, yeah, we'll get this toy there. And a little history on Grishkov's dad. Robert's dad's mother was Russian, and Robert's dad's father was Chinese. And the Russian woman owned a vodka factory, and the Chinese father, he owned soy sauce and sake factories. And this was just before World War II fired off at the end of World War II. Chiang Kai-shek had to go and all of that. So they put a money belt on Robert's dad, and at night he'd stay in the bus or train stations and have the money belt in a lockbox, and he would be he said, man, it felt like I was getting raped all night long. People sliding their hands in my clothes, and he said I just pretended I was asleep or they'd have gutted me. So here's this guy, here's his dad, and he worked for Douglas Aircraft, and Robert's dad could speak, read, and write 7 languages. Cantonese and Mandarin, German, French, Spanish, English, and I guess I got the 5 or 6 real quick. But the man said 7 languages, so I guess he spoke aircraft mechanic. And, one other thing a friend of mine said about airplanes. Necessity is the mother of invention, but a loaf of bread is the mother of the airplane. And you might say, well, how's that? And, well, if you're going to build an airplane, you just don't take a stick and drill a hole in it. You have thousands of people working for thousands of hours, and you got to feed them. So that's how a loaf of bread's a mother to an airplane. So I had this little wooden snap train. It was wooden, and had little metal snaps on it, little wooden track and a train to go on it. And this is all a little box, and we're running, man. My wife Dana's with me, and God bless her soul. So we go to LAX, and we're trying to catch Robert's dad. We were late. So we've got them holding the airplane, man. They're holding this big 797 airplane. Oh, this is easily 10 years ago, longer. And they're waiting for us. And we get over there and get to the ticket counter and say, I've got a package. I needed to get on that airplane. You could see it, man. You could see the door open. And there was a stewardess or somebody standing outside the door of the plane, but in the little, trolley wagon that's, it's connected with a telescopic hallway that you walk in. It was a straight line shot, man. You could see it. And they're like, looking at me, and I'm like, I got to put this box on your airplane, So they checked it out, and the box was sealed. It was all wrapped up, ribbon on it. Nobody opened it. What's in the box? A snap train for my friend's son. The man's on that airplane. So we get over to the airplane, and a pilot comes out. Says, I understand you want to put a package on my airplane. And this airplane's full, man. And we get on the plane and look, and there's like an amphitheater full of people, and here's this wild man got this box, And the pilot says to me, I understand you want to put a package on my airplane. And I says, yeah. He says, have you seen a BA agent, meaning British Airways airline? I said, yes. Did they okay it? I said, yeah. He says, what's in the box? I said, it's a little snap train with track and a little wooden for my friend's son. For his new son, There's 3 generations. One's on a plane, one's in Africa and holding the baby, And he says, what's the guy's name? I said, well, Vladimir Grishkov. So everybody in the airplane's like, oh, no. So Val comes up. He goes, George, what's going on? I says, Val, I got a gift for the baby. And he says, and the pilot's standing right there. I mean, this guy, we're now in tow, man. We're Siamese twins, Ike and Mike. Early Ringling Brothers. More stuff. I got so much stuff. Lived too long, met too many people. And I said, and I presented it to him. And his hands came out, and the pilot's going. He looked at me, and he's like this. Looking at Val, looking at me. He was doing that assessment. He knew it was a baby toy. We got off the plane, and it left, and Robert got his wooden snap train for his son. I still don't know the baby's name. I probably got told, but I don't remember. Maybe it's Vladimir. Have a look at our stuff. And we've made it this far. We'll just keep going. And maybe Alex would like to have a look at this. I don't know. Let's see how long we can be where we need to be. But we can't do anything with the website or anything else until the President and Mr. William L. Haynes, the attorney with the Federal Trade Commission, get their letters and get them. So maybe between now and the 12th of October would be a good thing. Thank you very much. Have a nice sunny day like I'm having. I'm going to go fix a lawnmower. Oh, and it's Sunday, the first day of the week. And see, that's what Paul did. Paul would have a service at night. And he would tell them, have the offerings and the money bagged up and all counted. I don't want to be dinking around on Sunday because I got stuff to do. So that's why we end up, we take a short service, we slam it all together. Paul, they prayed all night. Kids fell out of windows and landed 2-3 stories to the ground, got up and walked away. All these miracles are happening on the Sabbath day. And the Catholic Church changed the Sabbath. They seek to change times, dates, and places. The Roman Empire, my behind. And in the second disc, we will tell you that there is no such thing as New World Order. You got to quit saying it, just like you got to quit saying Lord God and start saying Yahweh is Ishi. George Harris. Well, Joyce and friends, this is a continuation of a letter to you. And we're going to try and keep this on one disc. We're going to see if we can. It might come to you as 2 discs. The last entry we had in words said something about there is no such thing as New World Order and Yahweh is Ishi. We're not going to talk about the New World Order thing. That'll be on the second disc, as we've at best what place to leave that. And the rest of the second disc, as far as not meaning this will be in 2 discs, and the second disc would be the second disc here, but in fact would be the second mailing. And so this is still part of our teaser, which might become a 2-disc set. Ta-da! And legacy discs. But we'll leave you with something fun here. We're going to go meet the dogs. We went to the lake yesterday, Ute Lake, U-T-E. Everything's named for Indians. In fact, in the middle of the United States, you have the state Iowa. And but the Indians don't call it Iowa. If you look at it, I-O-W-A, Yahweh. Oh, ain't that amazing? Yahweh, I-O-W-A. And even though my dad came from Iowa, Iowa, best state in the land, joy on every hand. I'm from Iowa, Iowa, that's where the tall corn grows. You know, you have 3, maybe 5 years of bush. Now you get 1 bush, 1 ear. Anyway, enough about corn. Let's go to water. Everybody says water's H2O. H2O. Wrong! 2 H2O. Gases are diatomic. So the O is always O2. It can't be H2O. It has to be H2O, 2 H2O. So if you can't understand earthly things, we're going to head into heavenly things? You bet we are, but we'll get you to where you know how the math actually works. And chemistry works out amazingly. Physics, too many dimensions. Yes, this is the Pontiac Fiero. Let's go see the dogs. Well, to show you what geniuses we are, we didn't know we had a pause feature on this recording device, and we do. And this is all spurred because of Joyce Riley's show today, the 21st of September, Wednesday, the Raptor, the F-22 question. Who knows what's going on with the Raptors? And that's why we're doing this. We're going to tell you what's going on. The guy holding the camera is a pretty good airplane guy. And we'll talk about my family and his family and the dogs. So let's go look at the dogs. So pause that thing again, my dear brother. Are we shooting? No. This is Ruthianne. This is a hole she's dug. Charlie, this is Charlie dog. This one was dying when we got her. She was a little bitty puppy. She looked like a cat. She did. She looked like a cat. That was 10 years ago or so. And this is Charlie. They were going to take him out to the dump and have the running of the dogs. That's where they turn dogs loose that nobody claims and then shoot them. What a nice town we live in. I guess it happens in more towns than this one. Charlie has webbed feet. Charlie has webbed feet. He was swimming yesterday. He was pulling Sean around, huh, Sean?
Yeah.
Is he a pretty good tow truck?
He's a motorboat.
He's a jet ski dog. Ruthie Ann didn't like swimming, but she did get in the water. Oh, Ruther. I love you guys. You'll be happy babies. You going to guard the house today while we're gone? Because we're going to go over to Teresa's and have a look at her wrecked up van and finish up this first presentation to Miss Joyce and her friends. Yahweh bless you and have a great day. We sure... Oh, did you mean it? Good doggies get crunchy treats. Here you go, Charlie boy. Not much left. We gotta buy some more doggy cookies. Hey, Ruthie got all of her crumbs. All right. There's the way. You gotta tell me.
Yes.
Ah, good. Well, see, as we were speaking before a minute or two ago, over at the Pontiac Fiero, we're now in front of the house. This is Sean's family home. He's third generation here. And there's the orchards and stuff out here if you want to shoot that slowly or something like that. I don't know how close it's going to be. You might want to zoom it. And
got infested with date trees and it just overcame it. It's insane.
Water here is not too far down, but hard to get out of the ground. We've been working on a pump and it's not doing its thing. We don't quite understand its function. We certainly have got the impellers spinning correctly, but it's got two tubes going down from it in the water. Pump sucks up on one line and blows back down on the other, but it kind of blows back up. It's just insanity. We'd have watered the trees better and had a little better care. Why, the reason we stopped here, I'm going to blow my nose. Swedish nose blow. What are fathers for? The Gardasil thing. Merck. Well, where'd Merck come from? Merck is a German company. What made Merck famous? Why, German Merck, methamphetamine. And they got tired of hauling cocaine around and they made their own dope so they could have them goose-stepping Nazi freaks. And you have MA, methylamine, and phenyl-2-propanol, and you throw a catalyst in it, and then you suck it off with a carbon vein vacuum pump, which most of these street drug dummies don't really have the awareness of. It's quite a chemical process, and then with lovely looking stuff. And the pH is right, and all the stuff's right, and it's a wonderful substance then, but it still has its problems. You know, it's adrenaline on overdrive. It's a ridiculous substance, but that's where Merck made their money. In fact, they called it German Merck, and they're the ones with the recipe. And you have two famous guys, and one of them is my hero, would be Erwin Rommel. You know, not FDR. He was another Satanist. And Madame Blavatsky and everybody over there at Hyde Park. But we have Hermann Goering, the great big German general. And he stayed in the rail cars with all the whores and the 7-layer wedding cakes that were full of cocaine, and probably after they just gorge himself on that and then go from car to car, I guess, taking care of 10, 20 ladies at a whack. But when you get to that point in life, all you've become is a hunk of meat, no better than a lump of meat wrapped around a bone. And Kirlian and his wife, Dr. Kirlian, using Kirlian photography to stimulate emitted light radiation from substances, determined that there's a definite difference between a human being or these animals or even that tree compared to a lump of meat laying in the butcher counter, although the energy and stuff is there. But Erwin Rommel was the kind of general that you could be proud of, and for a hero, he lived with the men, he ate with the men, he slept with the men, and there were no bomb-proof rail cars and prostitutes and champagne and the rest of that. In the last year or so, his letters home have come out. They're written in German. I'm not a German literate person. And, honey, how's your garden this year? And I'm not sure if he said Yahweh in his letters. He probably said God. Gott. And even after he was part of the assassination attempts on Hitler, Hitler knew to keep him. Because I guess Satan wants to know where the angels are around him, or those people spiritually indwelt by angelic forces. Because Rommel at least was still a German and was honorable. And my father-in-law was one of the guys on Omaha Beach that came up there against Rommel's placements. And I think my second father-in-law is still living. I'm not sure. He'd be 87 years old. Maybe a little older. Maybe 88. But we mentioned Vladimir Grishkov spoke 7 languages. And imagine me forgetting that if his mother was Russian, his father was Chinese. I forgot to put on a list. He spoke Russian. Spoke read and write Russian. Add that to the previous 6, you end up with 7 languages. And that's not saying he couldn't yak a little Portuguese, Portuguese or something. So today's lesson in languages will be Portuguese. If you want to say to a Portuguese guy, hello, good day, and how's your mama, say Português. Português. It don't mean you're gay, it's Português. And they'd answer back, Português. Well, we're going to Português over to Teresa's house, and we're going to photograph a van that's over there that both Sean, the guy shooting this film, and myself, we were in as passengers. And even though the Holy Spirit gave me an inference that I knew this car was going to be in a wreck, at least it was nice to know we were going to be. But Teresia crashed out of her wheelchair into the dash, even though the chair was locked. We'll show you how the locks work and all that stuff in these vans. So even if the van turns upside down and they're strapped in a chair properly, the chair is going to be hanging on the ceiling. And I guess if you're a guy that comes on one of these wrecks, you're going to see people in wheelchairs upside down hanging with their fingers in the air, and their drinks will be spilled and their cheeseburger will have left the cracker, you know. But we're going to go play with the lawnmower again today. And the doggies went swimming. And we finally went and did some. Is that the first thing we've ever gone and done, just screwing off?
Yeah.
How many years? Almost 2 years. Now, we went and screwed off yesterday. Bought a couple of burgers, man. You know, cheeseburgelators with bacon in it and greasy tater, thin things fried, greasy hot, and ketchup and Tabasco and that white powdery stuff. Salt! Yeah! Yeah, we splurged. Catch you guys later. Earlier I said something about being a would-be Scottish prince. My mom's mom was a daughter of the American Revolution, and I guess that makes me a grandson of the American Revolution. The family name is Whiteman, W-I-G-H-T-M-A-N, from the Isle of Wight. Jack the Bruce and Braveheart and all that stuff. The ruling family had to leave or they were going to die. Not that old crotchety Scottish yuck of a human being who sent his son, Jack the Bruce, off to go make a deal with the Brits. And that's basically what happened. They put the Catholic Church back on, which is nothing but popery, the worship of the Pope, God on earth, a vicarious, meaning substitution for God. Well, that's just part of our religious teachings. We're going to get to the lawnmower. We're going to crunch this down, have a look at it, and get ready to put it on. Maybe one disc. Maybe one disc. Hopefully we can get this out to you by maybe after the weekend. Not trying to crunch anybody, but it's we're running out of days, man. The 12th of October rolls around pretty soon here, and we want to get to spanking the liars. You know, the information war hell. Take the information, roll it in the newspaper, and bad doggy, bang, bang. You'll have a good day. Joyce, there's an F-22 Raptor. How is that? And we're going to talk about the F-22 like you said, but isn't that something? Vectored exhaust. Well, we got 4 computer systems flying this thing simultaneously?
I believe so, yes.
And this thing does not fly without the computers, will it?
No, it won't. It'll enter a human-induced porpoise effect, and it
So
crashes.
it'd be doing this.
Yes.
And there'd be no way to stop it. It'd next stop crash the Earth or
Yep.
go up or something. Maybe not. And the circuit boards that are in this thing, even as far back as the F4 Phantom, the circuit boards in the black boxes were maybe anywhere from 5 to 9 layers. So there was all kinds of redundancy in the logic chips that ran the electronics and ran these things. So a computer failure, my ass. You get $300 million for something, that's a flying son of a machine, oh my God. But we'll talk about that a little more. I screwed up. Yes, me. We spoke before about Merck. The reason for Merck is that Merck's been in the news because of Gardasil. So if they're going to make that, they're going to make the other. And Joyce has something that's really neat at the Power Hour Mall. She has 2. She has a PDR, Physician's Desk Reference, but the one you want to get, that you probably have a pile of, or at least you need to get one because they're out of print maybe. So I've heard the show and they're running short, is the PDR, Physician's Desk Reference, for the herbal stuff. And you need to get that. And that'll be one of the things they come and they confiscate it. We'll talk about Janet Reno in this little video. And how she's going to come and take your food and your Bibles and your water and everything else. So if you've got a 100-pound sack of beans or a 100-pound sack of cornmeal, they're coming for it. Because there is a terrorist list of things. This was done back when Bill Clinton was president. And now some of the stuff he signed back then as an executive order is now coming forward in time. We've come forward a little. And little Janet Reno, God, she looks like... Charles Lawton doing Dracula or something. I mean, she doesn't even look like a woman. I guess it's female. Body parts. Well, you're going to get introduced to my family a little bit. My mom's dad. My mom was an aircraft spotter for the Army Air Corps. She raised Arabians and Morgan mules for the Cunninghams. And the Cunninghams, and I guess, sold them to the Army and whatnot. And let's see, what else did she do? Oh, yeah, she was my dad's legal secretary, and she ran an IBM Executive. That's one of the typewriters with the hammers, because you can't use the one with the ball that's electric. It won't do 17 carbon copies, but the one with the hammers will. Can you imagine making an error and have to correct 17 carbons? Mom was amazing. She'd go work all day with Dad and come home and homeschool us and everything else. Plus, here's how you can tomatoes and make ketchup. Ketchup's neat, man. I stirred ketchup. I got big biceps from stirring 20 gallons of ketchup in a 3-pint jar. But Mom's dad had this one saying, and I really love it. Let's see. Original equipment parts are best. Ask the man with the wooden leg. And Grandpa made torpedo exploder mechanisms for the torpedoes that would go and not blow up. So they go clunk. So if you're in a submarine and you're Japanese or something during a war, and I guess it was harassment torpedoing because they weren't blowing up, and they had to fix that. So my mom's mom, she rolled bandages for World War I, World War II, and Korea. But with the bandages to the Korea also went shoe polish. And they used that for light to write their letters by. And I guess they used the cloth strips from these Daughters of the American Revolution to maybe they tied their boots on with them or tied their sleeve up or something. But when the war came on, everybody went in the war. My dad made airplanes for Douglas Aircraft, C-47s, a DC-3. And they had a thing called a flying doubler. What a doubler is, if you got two pieces of aluminum and it was strategic metal, they wouldn't throw them out. They'd put them together, they'd butt them together, and then put another panel behind it, or maybe one on the outside and one on the inside, so it'd be doubled. So they had one airplane they called the flying doubler. And basically the weight of the plane was about 50% more than per spec, because it had all this extra metal in it. And I guess they were amazed it would actually fly. He says, yeah, man, we'd jig up this aluminum and make these doors and get them all drilled and riveted and everything. And then we'd fit them into the airplane with a sledgehammer. And then I guess they'd break this and that rivet, and then take it back off and re-weld rivet, whatever the heck they did. But that's the war, and everybody went for it. So if we had Merck making stuff, Krupp Steel. Krupp's makes coffee pots. You can get a Krupp Steel factory Nazi German coffee pot at Walmart. Everything's at Nazi Central. Chinese Central, yeah. Let's see. Oh, and in our house, we didn't have a PDR. We might have. Dad might have brought one home, being an attorney and all that stuff. But Leslie had a Merck manual in the house. Not too many people with those. A molecular biologist and an organic chemist. I'm just glad she wasn't teaching. Well, I'd rather she was teaching than making biological weapons. But again, you got to thank her for RFID. It was real basic. You know, it was just like a coil wrapped around something. It would be, they'd finish off a tank circuit and would be electric, ERF stimulated, and would, if it got near the thing, it would turn on hello. You know, we're here. But we're going to go and play with the lawnmower, and let's see what else we're going to do. Yeah, I guess go play with the lawnmower and go see Teresa. And we're going to talk about the Raptor, and yeah, we'll pull the page back up when we get Raptor-oriented again. Or they're going to go talk about this other stuff, but we're sure as heck going to tell you about the Raptor 22. 170 planes, Joyce, 300 million apiece. Nah, I ain't going for it either. Probably something to do with SALT, Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty. They wanted to ground him. They want to get him out of the air because it's a superior airplane. And when these guys, well, we'll talk about that later. Thank you very much. What do you got, Sean?
It's a thing in the sky.
Yeah, what do you think that is, man? Is that part of an F-22 Raptor?
Doesn't look like any pieces of Raptor that I've seen.
Yeah, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that was a 59 Cadillac right-hand tail fin. Or maybe that's the left-hand side.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the right-hand side, because see the taper in the body? Yeah, that's a 1959 Cadillac right-hand tail fin. There was an error. It looks as if there's another car right next door to the driver's side in the Cadillac. It's obviously the rear of the Cadillac. But here's like the trunk of the Caddy. So this is actually the left rear fin shot from between the fins. So we made an error. It is not the right rear tail light fin, right rear fin like 59 Cadillac. It's the left rear. And the reason we have this is because we're looking to put a 59 Cadillac on the track at Las Vegas, Nevada for your perusal and enjoyment. And on the way there, you can watch this thing grow and become special. correcting our error. Thank you very much, and Yahweh keep you and bless you, and eat your broccoli sprouts. So we're going to finish up on this Raptor to do. I remember going out to the flight line, and we'd have a hangover or something. Planes would be sitting there, canopies open, and it'd be the yellow ladders hanging on the plane. We'd climb up there and grab the oxygen switch, which would be at like normally 7 or 70, or to say the word normal. We'd kick it over to 100%. Now this is an airplane with the motor off, so here comes 100% oxygen. So they've got oxygen on them, Joyce. I mean, that was in between 58 and 72 or something, production on those F4s. So worried about these guys starting these planes up in a hangar. Now what I've been told and what I understand and what I've seen with radar and all the rest of it, these planes come in hot when they first come out. And the F-20 was the same. And the thing would be on a radar for like maybe 2, maybe 3 blips, and it would be off screen, and it would come in hot. I mean hot. Come into a hangar at 175 miles an hour, and they'd slam the doors shut and put the guys with the M16s around it. And then they'd light them up, start it in the hangar with the doors closed, maybe open them up about 10 feet or something, and then open the doors, and this was like seconds after they light it, and then pull the thing outside. Mind you, the canopies are down. These guys have their oxygen mask on, their flight helmet on, maybe their dark glass down, the rest of it. Maybe not the dark, but, you know. And the thing would roll out of the hangar, and like a goalpost set at the door of the hangar, before it hit the other goalpost, it'd be like this. And they'd said the 20 would do 0 to 60,000 feet in 60 seconds from the moment, boom, light, gone. Then I've heard the 20 will make it to 80,000 feet in like, say, 80 to 90 seconds. When either pilot gets to either altitude, they're unconscious already. That's normal flight operations. They're wearing flight suits that have like a human blood vessel system in them. There's pressure in it, hydraulic pressure, and I think that's what they're still using. I'm not sure in the 22. But it holds their body in, you know, because of the G-forces are going through and the rest of it. So typical operation, these airplanes are flying themselves when they top out. And as far as one crashing, because the guy was unconscious, we haven't had to have pilots in airplanes. We've had look-through with AWACS. They can be flying around. They're in a war theater, and the fire control radar in an individual fighter has sighted ground radar and some targets in the sky and other airplanes and whatever, missiles. And the AWACS can see that and then fire the fire control radar of that fighter, you know, without having a backseat driver or the pilot initiate any kind of engagement with a weapon. So this thing about planes crashing, they're not getting air, the canopy, you know, my car, I have exhaust. So back to your exhaust in your garage for your car, this isn't a problem anymore with vaporized fuel because there's no longer unburned fuel going through the tailpipe. Not only that, 1/5 as much or 1/8 as much gasoline, you know, depending on how it's set up and how it's running, goes in the engine, so you got that much less coming out. And like we said, an 800% improvement. We're going to try and clip this disc off and try to keep from having 2 in this teaser. That thing with the 3 people at the church meeting in California, Janet Reno, as part of her terrorist thing, says any group of 4 people. You know, Joyce, you and my parents sitting down to a card game, that's 4 people. That's a terrorist group. And if you believe in donating a significant after-tax amount of your cash to a charitable purpose or whatever, you're a terrorist. And if you believe the Bible is the inerrant word of God, you're a terrorist. And let's see what else is part of being a terrorist. And a friend of mine went after Janet Reno to go arrest her and whatnot in Florida. He was raised by a medicine man. His name was Son of Nanus. And he went to go get Janet Reno. But everywhere he went to get Janet Reno, and this guy had spiritual powers and authorities far beyond that of mortal man. And they'd find hunks of people. You know, anybody who'd been around Janet Reno, they find a hand, they find a head. Maybe they didn't ever find a head. I don't think they did. They found pieces of limbs. So this is who you're dealing with. Everybody around Clinton's dead. That one black chick cop that found Vince Foster's body, the one attorney, he was completely drained of blood. They found his body somewhere. It's like all the people on the grassy knoll around the killing of Kennedy. What percentage of people that were in that whole group of people, some 5,000, 10,000, what age are the I'm with the FBI, and what's your name, your address and phone, or what's your age, where do you work, and whatever. And then they go and whack them. So that's what we're dealing with. But yeah, gold and silver are nice. But we'll need to do more. We'll need to do much more. And I think we're done.
This is how you get in the van if you have a wheelchair. And there's a locking mechanism inside here that acts as a clamp around a bolt on the bottom of the chairs, and they call it an easy lock. Need to go more right. This is the car we got hit in a motor vehicle accident on April 14th, 2011. And both Teresa and Dwight, myself, and George were in the vehicle at the time. And as you can tell, it is not in the greatest of condition. But Teresa, did it feel good to get hit in that car wreck?
No.
Felt like crap, huh?
Yes.
Where did you end up at after it all stopped and everything?
In the floor.
Underneath the dash?
Yeah.
Did the airbag deploy right and everything like that?
Yeah. But it hit me right in my teeth.
Oh yeah? Well, I mean, this car's a mess. I mean, it won't drive again, not without replacing the entire front end. This door will not open and stay open properly. And George was sitting in this spot, wearing his seatbelt, as proper passengers should. I was sitting in this spot with my shoulder belt around my shoulder, not clipped in. Teresa was in this spot, and Dwight was in this spot. This is what an easy lock looks like. And
Just to disengage it manually.
okay. And the bolt clips in there, or does it go all the way in?
It goes all the way in.
All the way like that?
Yeah. When you click it with a bolt.
Oh, I see. I get it. Thank you. Excellent. And did the airbag save your life, Teresa?
Yes.
It softened her blow and allowed her to escape with minimal harm. But she ended up right about there. And we had to pick her up out from underneath it. And that's what happens when you aren't strapped in properly. Didn't feel good, did it? It was a very uncomfortable experience. But I'm happy we got out alive. It was nice. Minimal injuries. I escaped with bruising. George had previous injuries that flared up after the incident, and you just had a knock to your teeth and bruising.
Bruising on my arms, my knees, and I got hit in the stomach a little bit.
Oh yeah? And Dwight just got hit in the chest and
his chest and his stomach and his teeth and his arm.
and his arm. Well, this man will not drive again unless we take the entire front half, like from this door post forward, and completely replace it. That is what I understand anyway. Take an old van and chop it in half and But that happened on April 14th. That is 6 months and a week ago. And those easy locks work great, don't they?
Yeah, they actually save your life. They keep you from not going out of the car or flipping the chair over
Yeah.
if you're in a wreck. They
Yeah.
actually save your life.
As long as you're strapped into the chair.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting day. I mean, it just was like, wha-bam! God said, don't go. You were fixing to go to Colorado, huh?
Yeah.
Like the next day.
Fixing to go to Denver the next day.
And God said, no! Okay, we're not going to Colorado. Woof! But, well, I don't know what else to say. Thank you for taking time to look at our videos and pay attention to us, and Yahweh bless you and keep you, and watch over your family and yourself. Thank you. Have a good day.
Well, Joyce and Power Hour team, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry it took as long as 2 discs to get all of this to you, but we've entitled this last little clip. It'll be the last thing you see. There's nothing after this. We want to thank you ahead of time because this kind of ends short and sweet. I hope you enjoy the humor. But Therese is a real human being with some real problems, and we're looking for you to pay attention. These 2 discs coming at you are actually, we looked at for just 1 disc. But this is the presentation. This is the teaser. And I hope you take it to heart about the answer to New World Order. And we do have, well, no, we're not going to give that to you until the 2nd disc, which is actually after this one. You're going to have to write a letter or say something or say you'd like to see it. And we'll do the same thing with y'all we're going to do with Obama and Mr. William L. Haynes. After a period of time and there's no response, we might send you one last little notice. Did you desire to make no response? I hope you do. I hope it makes you think. I hope it inspires you to greatness. I hope it lets you know that there are people out here that the only thing in their life, not the air they breathe, not the water they drink, not the pumping of blood in their veins, but that they can say, even though there's no grass in the field and the cows are lowing and there's no fruit on the tree and the vine is bare, I'll still praise Yahweh and maintain my integrity. But there is one gift you might want to think about having up for sale now that we have no don't ask, don't tell. You might want to consider a Power Hour soap on the rope, you know, for the Marines and Navy, the Air Force, Army. You have a nice day. Much love and much care. God love you. Ah.